This is the lobby, so a cosmopolitan lifestyle is on showcase in this setting. Architectural clean lines and subtle textures add a bit of tranquil sophistication. You'll see a play off of embossed skins, anilines, and then we focused on the blue-green hues and periwinkle, juniper blue, and icy blues.
So a great new frame here. The Emerson sofa was introduced last market. It was a big hit. Just a nice, generous, around 92, 98 inch actually sofa with the wood trim. A great piece to float. I think it looks great with this blue leather on it. It is the Tiburon Mist. But really tying in nicely with the fabrics, as you'll see throughout the showroom. So we had a lot of requests. Hey, we want a matching chair and ottoman with this. So we thought, well, we'll do a matching chair and ottoman, but also a matching swivel. So here you have the matching swivel shown. Great look shown with the channeling. This Orson parchment is the leather here. But just look at the detailing here. It has the heavy duty ball bearing swivel. Look how on the out arm, we don't have it trimmed here. It wraps around the back there. So a great look, a great piece to float. We had a number of people in here last week at pre-market that love this piece. So again, this is really kind of a touchstone of quality for Hancock&Moore. It's a great piece to showcase all the things that we can do. You have the Rainier finish on it here. You have the channeling there, a nice high-end class 5 leather, so it's really a great piece. Also, I've had a number of requests. You know, this would be a great piece to make into a sectional. We have that on the drawing board. We've also had requests as a love seat. So, so we know that you know, this is going to be I think a group that's going to be very successful for us. So we wanted to lead off here as well. Also in this setting, just showcasing the finishes and getting credit here for the finish. So we're really working hard on our exposed wood and showcasing that throughout the showroom. So again, a touchstone of quality there. This is shown again in the Rainier finish, which is a premium finish. And I think the fabric combination here is beautiful as well.
Okay, no new leathers in the lobby. And I would echo what Phil said by saying that some of the folks I took through love the swivel chair. It's gorgeous.
You have a new fabric showcased here in the Quincy Dove, so this nice little stylized skin in the mineral tones. We're still seeing a lot of embossed skins, jacquards that have skin motifs, so that's what your new fabric feature is here in the lobby.
So we have the Sorensen sofa here shown in the Tiburon iron. This is not a new frame, but again, just a great look with this blue, the powder blues, kind of the gray blues that tie in nicely with the fabrics. Very, very comfortable piece here, shown in the Java finish, but again, accenting with the throw pillows as well. I think it looks great with the Jinx occasional also.
Dresses it up. The Maitland mirrors look great with it. This is a very sophisticated look for the Sorensen.
You'll notice the new velvet on this bench. This is the Navarro, so it's more of a striated velvet, and you'll see that in 2 different colorways in our offering this season. Room 1 showcases neo-traditional styling. That is the hallmark. And it's a form of a tailored traditional with a classic modern spin. The fashion connection here is aniline leathers, and then you'll see touches of hair on hide. We're seeing a lot of hair on hide being used in fashion these days in just about every color imaginable. And the key color trend that you'll see showcased in this room is more of the peacock and bayou blues and juniper blues that are mixing with the dough and the sandstone.
All right, the new frame here is the Amity sofa, chair and ottoman. And really this was inspired by the Moselle. The Moselle has sold extremely well for us on the Hancock side, but we thought, how can we take this frame and this shape and this silhouette and really dress it up? So we've added the wood base here, the wood trim, up the arm stump, around the back. It's a beautiful piece to float. It has a beautiful profile. You'll notice here on the sofa that you have quilting just on the out arms and just a touch of that, so that really kind of sets it apart. Showcasing our premium finishes here with the Rainier finish. You've got Tiburon dough on it, so a super high-end leather from the UK. That's got that paraffin wax feel, but that natural aniline look. But just a great piece. I think it's accented well with the pillows. So we feel like that this is going to be a home run. It's shown with the ultra down seat cushions and ultra down back.
And at market, we'll have pricing for you guys with or without the quilting, because that does add somewhat to it. New leather in here is the Maurice tie-dye. It's on Regina's pillows, as well as the Newberry bench. Don't let the name scare you. It's not going to be your 1960s tie-dye look. It only has a couple of colors in it, and they're real subtle. But like Regina said, we're doing a lot of combo hair-on hides, and it really looks great in this setting. You'll also notice on the ottoman that we typically like to welt the hair-on hides with a finished leather or a non-hair leather, because it can tend to stand up. We do try to trim the hair so that it doesn't look like one of my haircuts, but it's best just to trim it out with a finished or a non-hair-on leather to clean it up a little bit.
Some new fabrics to point out in this grouping: the Navarro that you saw earlier. Then you have the new Odera Caspian, so you have a stylized ikat here, almost reminiscent of an emberling stripe that you see with the striated chenille in it. And then also on the shade chair you have the new stylized herringbone that's in a microdenier chenille in the Marina slate.
I think it's great how Regina has put this setting together to showcase mixing leather and fabric. She has the Reuben sofa here in the Tiburon Mist, a nice high-end aniline, and then showcasing the chair in fabric, because, I mean, as Tim has said a number of times, our #1 cover is COL. So again, showcasing our tailoring. You can see things, how we're refining things and thinning things down. Really the cutout there around the leg. I think the Reuben has a beautiful leg, a very sophisticated look, thin lines, and then showcasing here the finishes on the exposed wood chair. So I think this is a great setting as well.
Room 2 showcases classic allure with this neo-traditional setting, and you'll notice we're trying to mix the neo-traditional and bring it into a little more of a transitional feel. So here you have more of an elegant kind of tribal that is created in this new Sultan jacquard here. Then the rosewood color showcased on the new Jensen sofa is a deepening of the blush tones and the 80s inspired colors. So the cosmetic hues that have been so popular with the blush tones are favoring more towards the wine and the deeper blush tones that you see in here.
As Regina has talked about, this neo-traditional of taking traditional things and then updating them slightly. I mean, a great form. And so really this frame, the Jensen chair, was inspired by a Charles of London arm. How do you take a Charles of London arm that's very traditional and give it a modern look and a modern twist? So we had this in a blue last market, and we accented and contrasted the welt to showcase the shape. But a beautiful sweeping arm there that kind of flares out, but very, very comfortable, a nice tapered leg. And then for the customer customer that doesn't want to fuss with the back cushions, you have a tight back here. So it looks like a 3/3, but it has a tight back, so it's very clean, very simple, and very elegant look.
As Regina mentioned, the Tiburon Rosewood is a new color for us in Tiburon. You guys have been so successful with this entire pattern. To remind you, it's an Italian leather from Moore & Giles, and it's going to have a little bit of burst, a little bit of sheen, and some of the sheen that you may see in your swatches goes away somewhat during manufacturing where we're working the leather. But a beautiful addition, I think. And then on the chair, we have a Gammon Champagne, I believe, and it's a Class 5, more of a corselet, a suede with an overlay on it, and it's meant to give you some of the characteristics of a fine linen. Great combination of fabric or leather. Looks like fabric.
Yeah, we've loved, Regina, we've looked at this leather, and Tim and I, for a number of markets. We haven't put it in, but it has that wax linen look, and it ties in nicely with fabric. I think it's a nice accent. It's not too much. Some things are really kind of shiny, and probably it looks like you're trying too hard. That's a very sophisticated look, so I think that's going to be a good addition.
And also the welts are in the Gammon as well, which is a nice correlate to her pillows.
And I think it's very nice here, this setting showcasing our channeling again on the ottomans, showing off our finishing and our tailoring and combinations.
Room 3. This setting focuses on urban rustic, and it's a modern equestrian type of feel. So we've tried to incorporate different items that make you feel like you're in a tack room. And what you're going to notice in the next few settings is Hancock&Moore being Hancock&Moore, and the genuine focus on artisanal hand-burnished leathers that just make our offering just so supreme. We'll notice a mix of cobalt mixing in with the cognac leathers and the indigos that are so popular. A beautiful new colorway on this jacquard that you'll see here that we introduced last season that pairs the cobalt with the cognac as well.
Okay, new frame that's anchoring the room here is the McGregor. So the McGregor really was inspired obviously by the Buttoncraft. So Buttoncraft has been in the line for a number of years, one of our better sellers, but we wanted to make it more comfortable. So we added the back pillows. So this is a 3/3. So obviously when you add the back pillows, you're going to have to add some depth there. So it's a little larger, but again, we've talked about this before, a great touchstone of quality to showcase what Hancock&Moore can do. Scale-wise, tufting-wise, comfort-wise. You have the new spring-down cushions here, the burnishing, just a magnificent, beautiful piece that's anchoring the room here. And I think here, along with it, this is not a new frame, but the Yonkers chair, the burnishing looks awesome here. And just look at the shape of the back of this. Again, very, very comfortable, but showcasing all the things that we do very, very well on the Hancock side.
Some of the folks I took through for pre-market loved the McGregor. Of course, they love our Buttoncraft and our other versions of this, but with a tight back, there's no way to get the comfort that you can with the loose cushions. And so they were excited to see us offer that. Our tight backs are comfortable, but there's no way to duplicate a pillow back with a tight back. On the boho swivel, we have first of a new pattern, the Remington Sapphire Burnished. It's Class 3. We, in looking at our burnished leathers, and you guys know it as well as we do, or maybe better, we're selling brown burnished leathers for the most part. And so we challenged Melissa in our burnishing department. She's our artist. And she came up with this blue, a green, and a garnet that you'll see. And the way Regina has orchestrated this setting with the pillows, it's a great look, and it's not a stark contrast from what we're doing. And then I think the Nile Croc burnished is on the arm panels. when you first walk up to it, it looks like wood. And then I think it's Hyde Park Brownie would be elsewhere on the gimp and the welt. So that's a great application, and of course it sits like $1 million.
Okay, across the way here, we've talked about expanding into new categories for Hancock, so this is a great place to talk about that. And we have the advantage of having Maitland Smith tables and things to showcase things. So, we had a number of requests. I think it was Paul Brunn for years and years would put in his market wrap-up notes, hey, we need a steel farm dining chair and everything. So we finally did that. I mean, this is one of our most popular bar stools, and we've done extremely well with that. So we introduced the new dining chair last market. We also introduced the Davenport. The Davenport was shown in a great fabric and leather combination initially with great stitching detail here. I think it looks like $1 million here in burnishing with the channeling. Also notice that you have the J stitch here on the seat and showcasing that. So a great dining chair. You have an arm and a side. We just recently received a very nice order from a country club for over 100 of these already. So I think this is going to be a home run for us. And work it, like I said, you're going to have opportunities as country clubs and those types of things start to renovate because they're due for those things. So it's a great opportunity to mix in our bar stools and our dining chairs. I think it was very smart in how Regina put this setting together of having the bar stool here that inspired the dining chair and connecting those two. Also great detailing here with the hand lacing, so you can talk about that story, and also mixing in the burnishing with the fresh new fabrics that we have as well.
New leather. In this room we have the Hamlin walnut on the end back of the bar stool, and it's a great combination. We do lots of combinations on the Steel Farm bar stools. I particularly like this Hamlin because it's almost a shrunken crunch grain that you can pick up a lot of highs and lows with the antiquing. So it's a great combination leather. And one of the customers that I came through with loves our bar stools and said, your bar stools are expensive and I don't really see me flooring them. And so we talked a little further and decided that, okay, I get it, they are. If you'd go through our factory, you'd see bar stools going through every day, but at least show one to keep it in the mind of the consumer that we do offer a nice bar stool, having a nice bar stool offering, and you should at least show one to give your customer choices and let them know what we're all about. And on the Newberry benches, as Phil pointed out, the lacing is there. It's not a new leather, but another customer pointed out to me, I didn't pick up on it, didn't really think about it. The way we have those tucked under a table, it's really good in a dining setting where, okay, we have 4 chairs here. If you only have 4 chairs, but you have 6 people, throw those out there around the table, and now you can seat 6. Maybe not the way you want to exactly, but it just expands your seating. So that was a good tip from a customer.
Room 4 is another urban rustic setting that's enhanced with the feeling of an equestrian preserve. So you'll see a juxtaposition of different textures, rugged and refined, mixed with wood and hand-burnished leathers. The fashion connection here is playing off utilitarian chic and lots of shearling still in fashion, and then the colorations of tobacco and chestnut, and then these sun-washed neutrals that you'll see with the oatmeal and the canvas and this beautiful new wool blanket stripe in this setting.
There's no new frames in this setting, but I feel like it's a great place to stop the customer and point out, again, a new category, which are our beds. And we're seeing a number of these go through the factory. I think it's a fantastic look. We're showcasing the canvas here with the channeling back, the burnishing. Again, that's something that sets us apart. We know that there's a number of bed programs out there in fabric with all different price ranges, but we felt like that there was a void there for very well done upholstered beds. Also, we're showing these, we happen to be showing these in leather, but also we can do these in fabric as well. And I think Regina's done a great job of mixing in fabric and leather and hair on hide and the leather pillows with the lacing, the shearling on the ottomans there, just very textural. This is the Page sofa that was introduced and was a big winner a couple of markets ago, and we've always shown it kind of light and more transitional, but I think this new leather that Tim's going to talk about really showcases that as well with the J-stitch.
The Page sofa is in cameo canvas burnished, and I think this is one of our prettiest applications of the cameo. And a couple of the dealers that I took through, and one primarily buys fabric from us, just had to have this. They wanted it to work with some of the fabrics. That it's a beautiful neutral, and I think this is an excellent effort, and Melissa pulled this thing off. And back to the bed, we're also showing on the bed a new Weston leather, which is the Weston chestnut burnished. And the reason we're naming it Weston is it's going to be off the same crust as our Weston cane burnished, which you guys have sold very well for years. And you do see lots of beds coming through our factory. And I will point out that this one we're showing in oak species wood, and we ceruse the finish. I think it's a cocoa finish maybe, and it's just gorgeous the way our guys finished it. So like Phil said, the pitch is 400 leathers. I'm not sure how many nails we have, and all the finishes that we have. So we think we're late to the party, but we're different enough and high-end enough and sophisticated enough with all the options that you have that it's a category that we should be in.
Yeah, also, I mean, we have the cerusing here, but you could take it very clean too. I mean, you can do it maple, and you can put a clean finish or a, veneer finish on it or whatever. So you can get the different looks. And we always try, every market, hey, let's show this in a different way. Let's show this in a different light, because we don't want to pigeonhole a frame for a certain look. So don't be surprised next market that you'll see these in a more contemporary way.
Room 5 has an approachable form of luxury that's featured with a refined cottage setting that's indicative of the Nouveau cottage lifestyle. We're still seeing a lot of plaids used in fashion, so we have a beautiful new heathered kind of sorbet coloration that you'll see on this plaid. And then we've showcased actually the friendly sisal in the inside out performance fabric for the sofa. You're going to notice a lot of fabric and leather combinations throughout the showroom, just trying to soften some of the leathers.
A new sofa here, the Scanic sofa. Great look, very inviting. I mean, look at the detailing here on just subtly how it just kind of tapers and gets wider at the top. Very, very comfortable. We had a similar frame like this in the past, and we felt like it was a little deep. And so we went back and we've taken some depth out of this. This is a very approachable sofa. It's a great sofa that you could do a fabric leather combination, all leather, but just a great look. I love this fabric and mixing in the throw pillows as well. So new frame here.
New leathers in this room. On the out arm of the Marnie chair is the Hamlin buff. Great combination, again, great combination of leather. And you can probably see the Hamlin better, the characteristics of the Hamlin, on the pillow on the sofa, the Hamlin walnut, where it looks a little shrunken, but it's just a gorgeous combination leather for us. But the Hamlin buff is on the chair. And then the Carver Sangria is on the headboard as well as the Faulkner chair. And this leather is from Germany. It's going to have just a slight amount of pull-up. It is obviously very aniline, very naked. You'll see all of nature's markings. You'll see the neck wrinkles. It's going to have a little more sheen than some of the other pull-ups, but probably in swatch form, maybe just a little bit less than a Tiburon. But a gorgeous leather. We just have the one color now. We started out with a couple, and we didn't like the color that came in, so we killed it. But sometimes you guys will look at one color as being, we don't know if they're in love with this leather or not. But we're in love with this leather, and if we sell it, you can expect to see more colors in the future.
Yeah, great look here. This is a great way, again, to showcase the headboards that we talked about earlier. So we do have this stand that's available, and if a dealer would like to have this, and they want to display our headboards, there'll be no charge for the stand. So I think that that's a great look. I also love, this is not a new leather, I love this combination with this Founder's Maple and the Mustang Espresso leather. I think it looks like $1 million. This chair looks the best that I think that it's ever looked. And again, it's our touchstone of quality with our finishing detail, our comfort, our tailoring, the space nails. So it really kind of showcases what Hancock&Moore is all about there. So great room to talk about a lot of the different details here. The great leather throw pillow there with the exposed wood swivel, again showcasing our finishes.
And Phil was talking about the Mustang Espresso. It almost has the attributes of both a wax and oil pull-up as well as a nubuck. You can see on the seat cushion that it has a little bit of tracking where it has been processed, and you're going to see color variations, but like he said, the Regina combination here is just gorgeous and a great application for that leather. But that's a wonderful Hancock&Moore leather that we should be selling more of it. It's just gorgeous.
Room 6 is the urban rustic lifestyle that showcases this nod to all things artisanal through the spirited mix of textures and hand-burnished leathers. So modern and rustic will live side by side to create this Grand Summit-like atmosphere. The fashion connection, again, we're playing off the shearlings, the suedes, some kind of tribal motifs that are in the marketplace. And then the color trends, we're seeing a lot of these earthen tones with the truffles and the mahoganies and the aged cognacs, topaz, and then even throwing in this evergreen coloration that you're going to see on some chairs.
It's a great mixture of frames too. We don't have any new frames in here per se, but just look at the detailing of the Perry sofa over here and the shape of the front rail and the profile and how the arm kind of cants out. But a very comfortable piece. It looks magnificent in the burnished leather. And then accented here with the Yonkers swivel chair. You've seen the Yonkers, and Tim will talk about the new leather and combination there on the back, but just look at the shape of that. Very comfortable in how you're taking that in a different way, in a different look. And then I love the new fabrics that Regina has pulled in here, more modern mountain type of a feel, not dated, but more fresh and Colorado. And so, looking with the suedes there and the gimp and the space nails, accented with the Maitland Smith pieces, I think look fantastic. And the stitching detail, just like pulling in the greens here, is a great look, and showcasing the hand lacing. I think is a great look, mixing in the hair on hide. The Dominique sofa here, again, this is a UL frame, so you'll see some Urban Logic things, and they're all mixed in, because with the new catalog that's coming out at the end of the year, they're going to be mixed in by category. So you're not going to have a separate catalog for Urban Logic. You're going to it's just going to be mixed in stylistically. But a beautiful look here, a nice block leg, a subtle plinth base on it with the wide track arm, and it can go a number of different ways. Tim's going to talk about this beautiful new leather that's on that as well. And then the Adirondack chair, you're featured here, accenting that with this new chicory finish. So we have one new finish for Hancock&Moore. You can see it has a little bit of scratching or serruching there on the finish. And then here on the chair, again, not a new frame, but an Urban Logic frame here with the mohair, and then with a great new fabric that just is a leather-friendly fabric. It kind of has a modern twist and a nice touch there, but works really well with leather. And then we've always shown across the way here the Embrace sofa. The Embrace has always been very contemporary looking, and so why don't we take the Embrace and let's put a burnished leather on that as well. And we're really kind of angling it here so you can see the back and get credit for the wood and the finish. Very comfortable with the new spring down cushions as well. So I'm going to turn it over to Tim and let him talk about the new leathers.
Okay, first of all, on the Yonkers chair, we have the Hamlin walnut on the outsides. Again, you've seen that a couple times now in different applications, but they all look great the way Regina's done it. And I do love this room. This room is unexpected from what you guys have seen in the past, and it's just a pleasant departure from coming in, and you know that whatever room this is, 6 and 7, are going to look one way. And I like the way that the burnished leathers are mixed in throughout the showroom to show how they can really work and how they're meant to work, where you have splashes of it throughout. So it's wonderful. And you'll see a lot of burnished leathers going through our factory. And here's another color of the Remington, which is the Remington Emerald Burnished, I believe, with the Sonoma Chocolate, I think. And again, a great combination, and I don't know if I'm supposed to use this word or not, but it's a little Ralphie looking. And again, it fits in with these leathers, so it looks great. The Dominique sofa is in a new leather called Finery. And when we saw this going through the plant, we all fell in love with it because it just looks like a high-end leather, which it is. It's high-end European raw material, or high selection European raw material. You'll see the stretch marks and fat wrinkles, and it has more of a matte finish than most of our pull-ups, and it's a slightly heavier weight with maybe, and you'll have the swatches when you're seeing this, maybe a little more oil, or you can feel it, the weight of it, and you can feel the oil in the finish of the leather. But it's just a gorgeous piece of leather. Again, just one leather, one color, and don't take that to mean we're not committed to it. There are other leathers or other colors, excuse me, that came in after this one, and so we'll keep adding to it if you guys like it like we do, and we all sell it.
A couple of new fabrics to point out are the beautiful tribal jacquard that you'll see here in this more modern take. And then if you swing over here, you have the new Runa Earth. So kind of a mid-century modern fabric motif, and then a beautiful wool boucle that you'll see on the construction.
And I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it. But as much as we love you guys, it's probably good not having you here, because you'd be sitting all over the furniture and we couldn't see it. So I guess that's a plus of this whole thing. So sorry, but that's how it is. We miss you, though.
We miss you, and I really do feel like this room looks fresh. I mean, I think Tim would agree and everything. I think Regina's done a fantastic job pulling this off, and I think it looks updated and fresh and new with a mix of color and fabric and everything here. So I think this is a fresh new direction for us, and so this is a great start.
One of the best ever.
Room 7 is a modern chalet that's created through the use of streamlined transitional silhouettes and natural hair on hide, shearling, and hand burnished leathers to create a rustic, urban type of feel. Again, the fashion connection is shearling, handbag, and boot-like leathers, distressed bomber jacket looks, and then we've taken a burnished aged patina with the truffle colorations and mixed it with oyster and stone and espresso and a little bit of sea salt.
Yeah, as I walk in this setting, I mean, I really do feel like that I'm in an apartment in Colorado there with the cement floors and just kind of a cool feel and vibe with the texture and everything here, and we feel like the Cornelia sofa really is accented well here in the Hyde Park oyster. As we looked at the line, we felt like, hey, we need a really good cap arm sofa. And we said, well, let's just not do a plain cap arm sofa. Let's add a plinth base to it. So a great 3/3, and this can go a number of different ways based on the leather application. This will be a great piece to add and make into a sectional over time. So we're very excited about this. Accented here with the black nickel nail. It looks great from the back, so you can float it in the room, and then accented with the pillows and everything as well. But just the whole room. You've got the nice clean headboard here. You've got the shearling on the chair, the rocking chair. Everything really ties in nicely, and you know, the Nafan leather here on an accent chair. But I think this room really looks totally different and fresh, and it has that modern mountain feel. And that's what we're really trying to get for this design customer. So I'm going to turn it over to Tim and let him talk about the leathers.
New leathers in this room. On the Zealous bench is the Finney Espresso. Also on the Faulkner chair, the Finney Espresso. And this bench is one of the prettiest pieces in the showroom. And what a wonderful application for the shearling. You'll notice here that the way we've sewn this, it's hard to see the seams. We have a special machine just to sew this shearling, and it is, our guys do a great job with this. One thing that if you look at the Faulkner chair a little closer, you may see that when we try to take our advice on not showing the hair-ons as welt, it gets lost in something that the pile is this thick on the shearling. We can have it and it disappears, and I think it does somewhat on this Faulkner chair in some places. The GIMP shows up a little bit better, but we're glad to do it. It just somewhat and sometimes disappears. But wonderful applications. And this Faulkner chair, because of the design of it, can sit a little bit firm, but of course the shearling helps that a lot. Great room, like Phil said. And then on the boomerang chair, we have on the out arm and the out back, we have the Furlan Gray, which is another hair on hide, and this is the first place you're going to see it. Very sophisticated, subtle, tonal look.
Yeah, I think that short hair really ties in nicely with this Hyde Park oyster.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, that color, everything that we put that leather on looks fantastic. So it's got a lot of depth, and it has that modern feel. So I think a great application there on the boomerang.
And on this Outback, you can probably see a little more of the tonal effect of it. And of course, as you guys well know, these are going to vary.
Room 8 combines two forms of cottage, so you have more of an urban feel and a nouveau cottage that creates more of a transitional respite. In fashion right now, you've noticed there's a lot of of embroidery, and there's a lot of this cognac and chestnut colored leather if you've been shopping shoes and handbags. So in this room you'll have different desert hues, sunset hues, russet, oxidized colors. We're still seeing a lot of indigo. You have some tumbleweed, mink, mica, zinc, and tobacco.
Yeah, the Knob Hill sofa, for example, is one of our top selling Urban Logic sofas, and we thought, again, well, let's take it and show it in a fresh new light. So we put the Weston Cane burnished leather on it with the J stitching that just looks magnificent. We're showing it here in the new chicory finish. So again, showing things in a different light. You know, we used to have, you know, Urban Logic kind of pigeonholed with certain leathers, but now we're putting the timber on the Bowery swivel. We're putting exotic leathers on the out arms of things. And so in this area as well, I mean, mixing in the fabrics with the leathers, but we have one new grouping, and the grouping is the Andover. And the Andover was really inspired. You know, we've sold so many Austin sofas, thousands and thousands of Austin sofas, and we thought, you know, we know what sells that, and it's the bustle back, and it's the comfort of the bustle back. And as we talked about it earlier, people are living more casually. They want to be comfortable. They want to be in their homes. They want to be with their family. And so we want that comfort. And this is a great piece that we've taken a modern profile here. It's like almost like the Moselle. You've got a cut back arm. You have the nail outlining the out arm here, and it wraps around the back, but a beautiful look. But guys, just look how clean this is. We've cleaned up the bustle back here, so you don't have the pleats. You have that top stitch, and how nice and tailored and everything that looks. And I can attest to you, Tim and I both, we sat in this thing and we went, oh my goodness, I mean, it is so comfortable. So you've got to have, when your customer walks in this room, you've got to have them to sit in this piece, because that's what's going to sell it, is this. It's shown in Nirvana, which is it's really moving up the charts rapidly for new leathers. So you've got a great cover on it as well. So you have an ottoman that goes with the chair. So you have a sofa, chair, and ottoman is new. Don't forget, last market also we introduced 3 new Urban Logic recliners. Again, a little smaller scale. You have a sled base look here, powder coat finish. You have the taper leg, and then you have the upholster to the floor. But again, nice clean look, smaller scale, and I think Regina's done a great job of mixing in a lot of the Urban Logic pieces in this area, and it looks fresh and exciting. Okay, we're in room 9, so you're going to see room 9 and 10 are both Town and Country rooms. So these are going to be our greatest hits. These are the workhorse frames. These are the frames that are on the floor. These are the frames that pay our bills. So these are very important rooms. It looks very fresh and clean, taking the sisal up in here, and it looks fantastic. So you've got a little bit of everything in here. So you're going to lead off with the Redford. We're getting a lot of play with the Redford and the Juneau Oyster with this lighter color. So I just wanted to make note of that. You guys need to see that and showcase that. It's shown with the mahogany distress finish, spring down cushions here. So, you know, what market, you know, we're going to have the upgraded cushions available at no additional charge, whether it's spring down or ultra down. So a workhorse frame here. We're not showing the city sofa, but we're showing the city chair in the Kip tweed. Great seller here. And then across the way here, Regina's done a nice job of mixing in chairs here. You have the painter's chair here shown in the Tiburon Cognac with the quilting on the end back, and then a new fresh fabric here that can tie in nicely with a number of our burnished leathers. But just a great profile showcasing that wing and the attitude that you have with the wing. Looks nicely shown here with the Sundance in the Portfolio Claret, and then accented here with the Austin High Back and Document Tobacco, which is our #1 selling leather. So that's a great setting there. And then you move across the way here and you have the Moselle. The Moselle is rapidly moving up the charts as one of our best sellers because there's nothing wrong with this frame. You've got a block leg, that sweeping arm. You have it shown here in the Tilton Logger leather, a great profile, but it can go a number of different ways. You can take it traditional, a little more traditional. You can put a light leather on it. It goes well there. So it goes well with everything. So that's a great workhorse frame. Also accented here with the Maxwell. The Maxwell and the Moselle were introduced at the same time, and that is rapidly coming up the chart. Shown in the Kismet camel, you look at the detailing here, that looks like a Hancock frame with the padding on the arm, the shape of the outback, again, a great look. So this is the workhorse frame. So for you guys, room 9 is going to be a little more traditional. For the town and country frames. It's going to be a little more traditional, and then when we move into room 10, it's going to be a little more transitional. So this is going to be an important room for you. Okay, room 10, again, this is town and country, but again, a more modern updated look for town and country. So you're going to lead off with the Ava sofa here, showcasing our comfort, our wood finishes, the exposed wood, and you can talk about that. It looks great in the Angelo cream. It's accented with the Gordon tight back. I think it looks like $1 million in the Kismet ebony. Kismet, as we show it in the showroom, everything we put that on, it just looks like $1 million. Across the way is the Marla. The Marla is a new addition. We're showing the chair, but as you know, you have a sofa and an ottoman that goes with that. This is selling very well. We've had a number of requests of taking this frame because it sits so well and changing up some arms, and maybe this could be a potential frame that we could offer multiple arms on. Across from it, it's accented here with the Churchill sofa. Churchill is a new addition to town and country. We felt like we had the Kent sofa in the line, which was a little more traditional, and so we needed a modern Chesterfield here. It's shown in the Nirvana Earth leather. Accented here with the chair, the wing chair here in a fabric. I think that looks great. And then you've also got the Ricky sofa in the Juno soft blue. So you have that with the T cushion, or if you want to take it with the nails, you can take it as the Arrington here. So I thought it was really smart of showing the Ricky and then showing the chair, the Arrington. So you've got your floor space leveraged here. This is a great way to pitch it to your customer as you're saying, hey, you want to be a town and country dealer, and say, well, no, I don't want the traditional, I don't want the Sundance, I don't want, so that's fine. Here you can take this area here, 600-700 square feet and showcase, 3 great sofas, but then accent it with the chairs and maybe mix in some fabric as well. So a great room, room 10, town and country. Okay, room 11, office chairs. We know that this category is going to continue to grow as people work from home. We've had a number of requests from dealers and everything asking for office chairs, and so we're going to work really hard on continuing to update this. We have a new leather in here on the Abe swivel chair. This is Kismet Walnut. We have 2 new colors of Kismet that we'll point out, but a great look there. Again, Kismet continues to be one of our top sellers and just looks just great on every piece because it has a little bit of sheen. New chair here, the Chambers. We took the chair that was an older chair and just updated it with the chrome base to give it a modern feel. We put the Nirvana linen leather on it, but a great look, a lot going on. A little more of a feminine chair potentially, but you can take it a number of different ways based on the leather. In this room, again, you've got the Sebring and you've got the Logic chair there as well. So a little smaller scale. You're showcasing the finish here on the Sebring. This is a great modern take there. So we're seeing that coming on strong on the Logic, the Beckett Again, a more modern twist than Nirvana Putty. You have the Kismet Ebony here shown on the lee, which I think looks great. And then our couple of our top sellers, the Freeman here, great executive chair in Cavalier Oxblood. New game chair a couple markets ago, but we have a new leather here on it as well. So it's the Lyric Tumbleweed Class 2. So you get that pull-up look, but you get the protected feel and everything there. So a great look there. You've got the stretchers here for contract applications. The legs are nice and straight, so you can get that socket in there for the swivel, so you don't have to worry about any breakage on the leg. Has the brass hooded caster, so that's a great workhorse frame. And as we've said earlier, game chairs are going to continue to grow as people kind of nest. Another great piece. Here's another color of the Kismet Pecan shown there. A great look on the Amato swivel chair, Kismet Pecan. And then I think the Leon chair looks great. It's a great combination here with the wood finish, showcasing here. Look at the detailing there, up the arm stump. You've got the wood base wrapped around it. You've got the arm here that's padded, so you're not going to bang up the wood. You're going to hit the leather. You've got a subtle shape here on the top rail with the wood base. So I think that this really ties in nicely as well. Okay, we're in room 12, and notice that we have the sisal up, so it looks very clean and a nice fresh look here. So you're going to see just a different look in room 12 and 13 and the next couple rooms, so we're excited about that. So anyway, so this is obviously is the recliner, the motion room. This is the room that pays the bills. I mean, this is a very important room. And so what we're going to do, I'm going to go through and touch on a couple of new frames, and then Tim's going to come back and talk about the new leathers. And one of the things that we introduced this market new is power tilt backs. You remember a market or two ago, we did the Sammy with the manual tilt back, and we're getting a lot of requests for that because not everybody wants a recliner. They want an ottoman to go with it and everything. So we thought we would focus on this category. This is a great look here called the Sora. It's shown in the Kismet Mineral. A great combination here, shown with the black nickel nails. You've got the Java finish on it, very clean looking. You can get it obviously power or power with the battery, so you can float it in the room, but just a really smooth look and just a nice tailored look. If you open this thing up completely, look how nice it looks on the inside there, cleaned up. You don't see the rough edges of the leather, so it's finished off nicely. So a great look there. So here's the Sora along with the ottoman in Kismet Mineral. The second new thing is the Alexis. This is shown in the Kismet Camel, and again the power or power with the battery. Very, very comfortable, and a great option here. It's accented with the French natural nails, and we have spring down cushions in each of these. And don't forget the Sammy recliner here with the manual. You have the switch here, so this was new last market. So you guys, we're trying to take some of our top sellers, winners that our retailers have a track record with, that we know work, and adding features to that, and that's really going to be beneficial, and you're going to see that later on in the walkthrough. But I'm going to turn it over to Tim and let him talk about some new leathers.
Sorry, Phil. The new leather there on the Sammy is the Kismet Walnut, and then on the Carry tilt back chair is the Lyric Tumbleweed. Both these patterns, I think Phil has already mentioned, have been phenomenal growth patterns for us, and so we will keep adding to those. And then to the right of the Carry is the Kismet Pecan on the Sabine. Phil, is there something else you were going to point out here? Or
Oh,
we're
the
still
new,
on
new leathers.
the new
on
leathers
swivel.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the
So
Atmore.
on the Atmore Black is on the Logan chair, and what we like about the Atmore is it's a modern price point leather, class 1, fully protected, so it'll work on your cleaner recliners as well, and it's tariff free, and so that was something else that we like. And it has a nice hand, a little bit of a feel coat, and you guys will do well with that. We have 3 colors, I believe, in the Atmore. And then beside it is a new pattern that we're really excited about called Rodin, or Rodin, really. I think both Skip and Regina would pronounce it Rodin based on their abroad studies. That he was a famous sculptor, which I wasn't aware of that, but those two, you can talk more to them about Rodin. They studied him extensively, I think, because he had a sculpture called the Thinker, and so obviously that wasn't me because I didn't pick up on that. But what you'll see, and we're going to get hand samples of the leathers and all the colors. It's going to be pretty extensive. I think we're going to have 6 colors, and it reminds me, for those of you who've been with us a long time, so sorry for the more newbies, this leather reminds me a little bit of the leather we called Payson. It's a little heavier weight. Some people will look at it and say that it has a hand rub. Well, it does, but it's more of an inlay because you get credit for the weight of the leather, and so the rub pushes down into the grain, and you see a subtle two-tone effect that's different than our document, where the two-tone effect is it's a little more apparent, and the finish is on the document is a little shinier, and this has that real leather hand. It doesn't have a feel coat of any type, and we just love it. It's Hancock&Moore. It's traditional in the aesthetic of it. However, we have a couple of non-traditional colors that you'll see, so you can stretch it a little bit in terms of the application. But we're really high on this. This was a last-minute thing, and Leather Miracles approached us with it first. No one else has it. You won't see it if you guys keep selling it really well, I don't know how long, but at least a market, I would say. And the raw material is German and Slovakian. This raw material comes from the same supplier that would supply Quintessence and Capri. The selection is not as good as those 2 leathers, and so we're getting the benefit of the price. I think we have it as a class 2 protected, and the hide quality is outstanding, plus they're covering up a little bit more so they don't have to use the selection that they would use on a Quintessence or a Capri. So this is an exciting leather for us. As you can tell, I don't seem to get too excited about things, but this is exciting. We all got excited about it. And the guys at Leather Miracles, who've been doing this for 40 years, they're really excited about it. So when they get excited about something, and our respect for them as outstanding leather people, probably some of the best or maybe the best we deal with, when they're high on it and say, this is a Hancock&Moore leather, you guys have got to do this, then it got our attention, just like we hope your dealers pay attention to you like that. If you go in and say, look, I don't see this or this on your floor, I'm telling you, in my territory and in this company, you don't have that on your floor, you're missing something. And you want your dealers to pay attention to you like that. And so we have to Leather Miracles, and we love the leather. So you'll see more in your hand samples, and we'll talk more about this when we have our Zoom meeting.
Okay, so this leather, a great point with this leather is, European raw material is finished in the U.S. And it's tariff-free. So again, when Tim and I and Regina saw this leather, we thought, man, this is a Hancock&Moore leather with our frames and showcasing the depth and everything with that. And like Tim said, the inlay there as well. So 6 colors, and what we're going to be doing, we'll be sending you cuttings of that. There's 2 fabrics that you're missing, and there's 1 wood finish. So as soon as we get all that together, we'll be sending that out to you in one package. We didn't want to piecemeal that, so that'll be coming to you. But we're real excited, as Tim said, about that. So
We could only get enough hides just to make the 1 chair.
right. So we'll have the other colors, and we may have a rack here beside the chair to show the other colors and that type of thing as well. So and mark it. So, but a great new leather. So put that on your radar screen. It could be the the next document. All right, across the way here we have the Sammy. Okay, well, what's new with the Sammy? Well, we got the Sammy, and we've had a number of requests for the Sammy with the articulating headrest. So here is a brand new feature, nice and clean. This is a home run. I mean, guys, if you don't get this on the floor, there's something wrong. I mean, this should be an automatic. This is a lay down, and the Ghent with the articulating headrest, it's the lay down. So you really need to get these on. So we started, we started with the top 2 selling recliners and thought we'll add this feature and we'll continue to grow this category. But it is a big deal. I mean, you got the USB and you can recline and you can get in the position that you want it. I mean, this is awesome. I mean, it really is. So anyway, we're very excited about this. And we also have the Ghent as well. This is shown in the Kip Mocha. And we have the Ultra Down seat cushions. It sits like $1,000,000. Here's the Ghent. Here's shown in the Juno Oyster. So we picked the top 2 colors, top 2 recliners to add this feature. So hats off to Brian and his team and the PD team pulling this together. I know it took some time, but we wanted to make sure that when we did it, that we did it right. So two winners there.
Anyone that I took through at pre-market raved about this chair and the comfort and the feature of lay it all the way back and then adjust your headrest to where it's comfortable watching the TV as opposed to looking at the ceiling. So this is outstanding. Even one group that I took through, they're not huge fans of motion. They sat in it and loved it and actually gave us an order on the spot. So pretty exciting, as Phil said.
Great look. The next new thing, you've already seen this. We had a promotion this summer. This is the Samson. So the Samson, basically we've taken the box of the Sammy, which we know is great and the pitch is right and everything's right with that frame. And we wanted to offer 4 different arm options. So we have the pleated arm, the track arm, the cutback track, and also the flare arm. So you can get this on the floor, you can get it with manual, you can get it with power, you can get it power with a battery, and 4 arm options. So you've got a lot of versatility here. Again, sits like $1,000,000, and I think that's going to be a home run for us too. So you've got 2 new tilt backs with ottomans, and then 3 new recliners here that I think are all serious introductions.
Last thing would be the Wally recliner, shown in the Tiburon Doe, but the outarm is in a new leather Hamlin buff, I believe. Great combination.
Room 13 and 14. Cosmopolitan is the lifestyle depicted in this exciting new leather and fabric offering. A sophisticated allure with a streamlined, low-slung, sleek European charisma is infused with a modern sense of styling and comfort. Monochrome dressing with subtle tonal fabric leather layering and understated details with decorative stitching are popular in fashion. This area showcases all forms of neutral with mineral tones, parchment, pearl, snowdrift, oyster, and walnut.
Okay, the first group here is the Milo. We felt like that we really needed to come up with some sleeker, slimmer line recliners, and I think this is a great way to display them. The unique feature here is you have 4 arm options. So you basically you have the wraparound arm here, a really sophisticated P-arm here, a curved arm, and then you have a track arm. So again, being able to leverage the floor space and having that configurability feature, you can also get it leg, you can also get it with the spider base, you can also get it with the dome base or the metal sled base. So a great look here, a great way to display it. I think that pulling it together this way, we'll have the TV, we'll have that running on a loop there talking about that. We'll have point of purchase material and everything and tear pads for this, but we feel very strongly for the Milo, and we feel like that this was a void in our line that we needed to address. So I'm gonna let Tim talk about the new leather here.
Okay, so on the Milo, we have the Atmore Black and the Atmore White. And again, I think we mentioned this earlier, great price point leather at a class 1, protected, has a little bit of a feel coat, but maybe not as gunky, if you will. Not a good description there, but not as gunky as some feel coats can be, but fully protected and fits in with this look very well. And then on the cocktail ottoman, we have the Birch Dove, which I think that's a great name, Regina, because it looks like birch wood, birch bark. And again, a decorative leather that would work well in combination with some of the other leathers. So great little setting here, and it doesn't take much room. And you're, again, like we've had so much success on the JC side with the arms, the multi-arms, this should be a part of a core program, I would think. Very nice.
A couple of frames here that are not new, but I think are fantastic, and I think it was really smart on how Regina pulled these in to this room to kind of tie them in. You know, beautiful, beautiful transitional contemporary bar stools there, showcasing our brilliance finish. They're as pretty from the back as they are from the front. Very sophisticated looking here, shown in Nirvana linen, and also you have a contrast here in the shimmer pearl. So just wanted to point those out. Great looking bar stools. And then across the way here we have the Henry. So the Henry, basically we're showing a chair and an ottoman, but you also have a sofa available as well. The beautiful thing here is similar. We were inspired by the Ricky, but we pulled the arm out front. You have a box cushion, but then you also have the plinth base. So you're seeing a lot of the plinth bases and everything, so that's a nice touch too. A lot of people really don't notice, most people, they trim out the back and they just go straight, but you can see how we've rolled this back over there. That's just another attention to detail that we do on the Hancock&Moore side. So it's a great piece to float as well. So just remember, the Henry we're showing, the chair is shown in Juno Oyster, but you also have a sofa available as well. Also, this is not a new sofa, but I wanted you to get a look at the back. This is a conversation sofa, the Laszlo, a nice low arm. And what we did to really kind of be inspired for this lifestyle, the cosmopolitan look, and this room, we went down to Florida and traveled with Mark Matthews and the team and shopped around. Noticed that a lot of companies had seat heights of 15. Really low cocktail ottomans and low and large cocktail ottomans and overscaled. No double needle, it was more top stitch. It was just a very clean look. So that's really what kind of inspired us here for these looks, but a lot of detail, and a lot of times, to get the contemporary things, they look very simple, but simple can be very challenging and very difficult to get it to do and to execute it well. So the Laszlo, I think, looks like $1 million here. It's in Nirvana linen as well, so that's a class 1, but it has a great hand, and then pulling in and mixing in the pillows as well. You also have the large chair there, again showcasing the finish with the Brilliance finish. I think this whole area looks great. I'm going to let Tim talk about the new leathers in this area as well.
I think the only new leather in here is on the Victory bench, and that's Hamlin Soft Pearl. Something I haven't mentioned though is most of our correlate type leathers or skin type leathers, embossed leathers, are typically a class 5 from us, and this is a class 4. So it's a great value and a great look. You can make it clean or contemporary transitional, or you can, with the walnut color, you can make it, and the combination of whatever you put it with can make it traditional as well. So great leather.
Room 14 showcases another cosmopolitan lifestyle setting, which incorporates our new Milan program.
Okay, as we traveled Florida and California and different areas, we just continue to see this very clean, sophisticated lifestyle, and we felt like that there was a void there in our line for that. So we created Milan with basically configurability in mind. We feel like that this collection we're going to continue to add different depths, add motion, add different sectional pieces. But to start here, we have 3 arm options. So we're starting off with a track arm or a wide track arm option here, shown in a beautiful fabric that Regina has selected, and the plinth base with the cerusing there. Like I said, it has the cocoa finish. The fabric is poetic oyster. So accented nicely with the leather pillows. I think that those look good with the lacing. Also notice here the large overscale swivel with the stitching detail. So again, showcasing that. This is shown in Tiburon stone, which is one of our more popular colors there. So a great look there. So you can get the Milan as a swivel, you can get it as a chair and ottoman, and we have some sectional pieces as well. So so new collection here, and then Tim's going to talk about some of the great combinations here chair-wise.
So on the the Newell ottoman, for instance, we have the hair on hide, which we're calling Maurice taupe tie-dye. And again, it's not an in-your-face tie-dye, it's just tonal. And if you can pan over and see the rugs, these rugs are out of this same leather, the Maurice taupe tie-dye leather. And as Regina pointed out earlier to me, we sell a lot of rugs and hair on hides as rugs. So that's a great look that's very popular right now. And on the sofa we have the Newcomb white, and it's a true white. And whites are really hard to do, and they're very popular in a modern setting. And they've done a very nice job with this leather. And then behind me on the Michelle chair, we have a combo that Regina put together with the Tiburon stone. And on the outside, we have the Hamlin gray. And I'm not sure what finish that is, but that is a great combo, a cocoa finish. Great combo all the way around. That's a really nice look and fits in with, I'm jumping around a little bit, the cocktail ottoman with the hair on hide. And let me back up and point out on the hair on hide here, the application didn't lend itself to putting, I guess we could have done this or could do this, a finished welt to separate it, but you can notice the hair standing up a little bit where we had to seam it. And that's what we were talking about earlier, that we try to minimize it. It's a judgment call with our folks in the factory as to how they trim the hair to minimize that Tim Bat haircut look again. And you could put welt in there, I think, and it just depends on how busy or how much that would bother someone.
So the second arm option for Milan is the inset arm here. So you have second arm option, and also the second foot option is a simple block foot. So it's about the width of the arm. And notice the seat height on these pieces. You know, again, like I said, when we were traveling, we were seeing seat heights as low as 15. So deeper depth, but a lower seat height. We felt like 15 was too low, so we're 17-ish here on the Milan collection. So you have your second arm option and your second foot option. And then across the way here, you have your third arm option, which is the crescent arm. So you have your crescent arm, and it's shown, the wonderful thing about this, it has the sled base option. So if you look at it from the front, it looks like a regular block. But if you go to the side here and look from the side on the chaise, it looks like a plinth base. So you've kind of got the best of both worlds there. So that's those are your three base options there. So great combination here. We tried to show these. We showed it in an optic white. We showed it in a nice warm taupe, kind of a California casual look. And then we have the fabric as well. And as Tim had mentioned, some beautiful leather and leather combinations on the back of the chair. We also have the new Dayton chair here. Again, exposed wood swivel with a super high-end leather on the inside, and then you have a contrast, a subtle contrast on the out back there. So a great look on a new frame. We felt like, again, we needed some smaller scale swivels with the exposed wood, but I think that ties in nicely as well. Also, again, you know, this is a lifestyle, so we didn't put the blade chair in the office chair area. We have it mixed in here with the Milan. So again, a nice touch here, mixing in some Urban Logic pieces here, statement-oriented wing chairs. So, you know, we had a major Florida customer, I'll just say it this way, that walked in this area and said, "Are we in Hancock&Moore?" I mean, they couldn't believe the transformation and the look here. So really a great look. You know, we opened up all the windows in this area, took up the sisal, painted the room, and it's a very clean look. The occasional product that you'll see later on in the Maitland walkthrough ties in nicely as well. So we're very excited, and you know, to kind of summarize with the Milan group, this is going to be around for a long time, and then also the Milo recliners.
New leather, the mahogany chairs that Phil's standing in, behind are in the Kismet walnut. Another nice application for the Kismet, which is huge for us.
Great treatment, a subtle treatment here, fabric-wise on this with the quilting. I think that's very nice as well. The hair on hide, we've gotten a lot of compliments with the hair on hide cocktail item in the South Beach.
Room 15 showcases Your Way and Your Way motion. So we have some fabric that's actually shown in with the mixed in with the leather. You'll notice the Your Way motion sofa here. This is in the new Marmont fabric. This is a micro denier popcorn chenille that we've introduced in 3 colorways, and we will be sending these out to the reps for their package.
So you're going to see the fabric, and we're going to be adding more, you know, kind of base cloths like this to add, because we feel like that we can really grow that part of the business in Your Way with this type of fabric. So we're going to work really hard on strengthening that as well. So a great look. My past life, we sold this fabric like crazy. So a home run. So as you move in here, this is the Your Way area, but we also have a new sofa group. We're showing just the chair and the ottoman, but we also have a matching sofa with this. This is called the Danvers. So I love this. I mean, this is kind of, I'm a traditional guy. I love traditional furniture. And this is something that I would have. I love this kind of cut back Lawson arm the tapered leg instead of the turn leg. I think it looks like $1,000,000 in the Tilton Ruby. It really pops with the French natural nails. It's got a spring down cushion and then the ultra down back. So it's really just a great look, a timeless piece, and we felt like that it really kind of showcased and looked very well in here with the traditional offerings of your way stationery. So kind of how we have room 15 broken up. You'll notice that we've removed the sisal. It looks fresh and new. So you're going to have kind of a traditional area here as you walk in. You'll have a fabric story tied in to show the different arms, because we do, when we come in your way, we do try to show all the different arm options. And then you move across the way here, and then you'll have a little more transitional, the wide track arms and the smaller track arms as well. But I'm going to turn it over to Tim. He's got a new leather.
New leather, only new leather in here would be the Remington Garnet burnished on the traveler's chairs. And again, we think Melissa knocked it out of the park with this. It is just a beautiful red, and we needed that in our burnished line, and that's the last of the Remington colors. So we have the blue, the green, the red. That's outstanding on the traveler's chairs.
You know, and I think really, you know, Regina did a great job of mixing in. If you'll notice, even in here in the more transitional area of the Your Way and the Your Way motion, of taking and doing some accent chairs here with the fabric and leather combinations, the croc here with the fabric seat, the burnishing, doing the fabric on the inside and the burnishing on the outside, showing some shearling here on the chair, and then you have the sleeper sofa opened up there. So you really have a great story, the Your Way ottomans, the Your Way motion, a large scale sectional. Again, this whole theme about living casually and living comfortably, something that you can put in the basement there with the big screen TV. You know, we're seeing home theater people are starting to ask for that more because you can't go to the movies. Now you're watching movies at home. So we're seeing that coming on strong too, along with the game table. So life has changed, and so we have to adapt to that, and we have to adapt our product to that as well.
Room 16 showcases details within Hancock&Moore. So what we wanted to do was showcase all of the stitching, the channeling, the quilting, the different finishes that we do. And we decided to anchor the room with this beautiful new emerald colorway in the Sultan jacquard that you saw earlier in the presentation. So just playing off the greens that are so popular right now, you'll have some eucalyptus feel and some different sage. And then we've highlighted some of the embossed leathers that we do as well in our line. Also, you'll still notice that we are showcasing what our true artisans in our factory, the magic that they create every day for Hancock&Moore.
Some new leathers in here that I think we've seen most of them before, but a great application for the Furlan Gray. And again, I've probably beat this to death, but notice how we didn't self-welt. We put the Tiburon stone welt and gimp in so you don't see the hair sticking up. A beautiful combination. And then the Remington Emerald on the Monaco lounger, Remington Emerald burnished. Again, we're showing that, and it's different than brown, and it looks great. So that's something you guys will do well with. And then around the corner, we have a new leather, and it's a one color story right now, but the more we look at it, the more we like it. It's called Whitaker Emerald. It's class 2, which is a great price point for us with a pull-up leather. It's not going to have a ton of burst, and the sheen should stay with it pretty well throughout the production process. You'll see a little bit of the pull-up here, but it still maintains the sheen. The hides are clean. They're European hides, European raw material, and this may be a sleeper for us, and we'll be adding colors as you guys sell it. At a Class 2, this is a great look and a pretty dressy pull-up leather.
And guys, this is a great place to just kind of showcase the treatments, because you can talk about the diamond tufting, the biscuit tufting, the channeling, again, more diamond with the double needle, the diamond on the seat. So you've got a lot of options. Everything that we put this birch embossed leather on looks like $1 million. The hair on hide, that looks like $1 million. So great place to again to kind of summarize all that we do on the Hancock side. And really at the end of the day, it's all about the employees. You know, you look at these images up here, these are actual employees. They're the people behind the product. They're the people that make the product. They're the people that take pride in what they do. They know we're the best, and they're very proud of that, and they should be. And we're so blessed and so thankful to have them to be a part of the company, because they are who make Hancock&Moore. It's not the machines, it's not the factory, it's not the leather, it's the people. So we want to thank them. Hats off to all the employees, all the product development people, and all the people at Hancock&Moore for another great market.